Hello everyone, I'm Asher and welcome back to the Filmcast. Today I will be reading the next story in my Cryptic Monster universe, The Russian Sleep Experiment. I won't say much in this intro, but what I will say is that this story will be told in a different way compared to the other ones, and if you want to know how, stay tuned to find out. Now, let's get into The Russian Sleep Experiment. Hello. I am Dr. Arkhipov of the Soviet Union. The date is November 16th, 1947, and I will be recording these tapes while I and a number of researchers overlook a top-secret experiment. This experiment will involve testing a new type of gas on 5 political prisoners. The goal of this experiment is to use the gas to keep people awake for 30 days, and if successful, this gas will be given to the soldiers of the Red Army, where they will use it in an event of war. The test subjects have been given beds, a toilet, books, running water, and enough food to last them 30 days. They have also been promised freedom if they complete the test, but we all know that's a lie. They don't know that, but it's better that they don't. If they manage to survive this test, they'll either be executed or sent back to the gulags. I've said all that I need to, and I will record more of these tapes if anything unusual happens, but I don't believe that will be the case. This is Dr. Arkhipov, signing out. Day 5. Up until now, the experiment has gone pretty well. Nothing weird has happened, and everything's working the way they should. But today, something different happened. The test subjects have started whispering to us through the microphones and portholes in their test chamber. They seem to be trying to gain our trust. They are also showing signs of paranoia. At first we were unsure why, but eventually we concluded that this is an effect of the gas. We expected the gas to have side effects, so something like this was not a surprise. We're not too concerned. I'll be back if anything new comes up. Day 9. That, in the background, is 2 of the prisoners who have started screaming. Yes, they have started screaming, and we have no idea why. Here's something interesting, though. One of them has been screaming for about 10 minutes. The other, for the past 3 hours. Meanwhile, the other prisoners have actually used books. They've ripped off the pages and have covered up the portholes. So now we can't see inside the test chamber. We have plans to open it and check what's going on inside. But until then... Wait a minute. The screams. They've stopped. Well, that's a relief. It was horrible to hear a man scream constantly without taking a break. I should get back to work. I will be back hopefully soon. Day 12. I won't be here long, but I wish to add this update to what's going on in the experiment. For the past few days, there's been no sound coming from the test chamber. At first, we believed the microphones weren't working, but we checked them, and they're working just fine. We then checked the oxygen levels, fearing that no oxygen was getting into the test chamber, and that the test subjects had suffocated to death. But no, they're also working just fine. There's enough oxygen getting into the chamber. The test subjects must still be alive. Me and the other researchers are debating on what to do next. Day 14. We used an intercom to speak to the test subjects. We did this for 2 reasons. The first reason was we wanted to test the microphones to confirm that they were working. I know I said that they were working, but we just wanted to make sure. The other reason was a little different. It was to get a response from the test subjects to make sure that they were alive. Over the intercom, we told them, "We are opening the test chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." After a few seconds, we got a response from one of the test subjects. He said, "We no longer want to be freed." This sparked a heated debate between the military officers and the researchers, which is understandable because, think about it, these men have been locked in a chamber for 2 weeks. Any sane person would want to leave if they were given the chance. But no, these men want to stay. I don't understand. The signs of paranoia and maybe even the screaming we could have expected as a side effect of the gas. But then this happens, and we're totally baffled. This should not happen. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. We have decided that at midnight on day 15, we will flush out the gas and enter the test chamber to check on the test subjects. Hopefully, everything goes well. Hello, I am back. I don't know what day of the experiment it is, but at this point, I don't really care. In my last recording, I said our plan was to enter the test chamber after flushing out the gas. And that's what we did. I also said that I had hoped everything would go well. Instead, everything went horribly wrong. I don't want to do this, but I feel like I must. I am going to tell you what happened when we entered that chamber. That God-forsaken chamber. After flushing out the gas, a group of soldiers assembled by the door of the chamber, waiting to be able to enter. When the gas was flushed from the chamber, the test subjects started screaming again, and when the door was opened, the soldiers screamed too. Now, some of these soldiers were veterans of the Great Patriotic War, or the Second World War as they call it in the West. So to hear them scream the way they did was shocking. What they saw in that chamber horrified them. The room was in tatters, beds were flung around, the bookshelf was pushed to the ground, and the scent of human waste was rancid. And if you think that's the worst of it, then get ready to hear the status of the test subjects. One of the test subjects was dead, but I'd be lying if I said he was in the worst condition. The remaining test subjects had wounds so severe that they should not have been alive! Skin and muscle had been ripped from their bones, organs strewn out all over the floor, finger bones were visible, which indicated that the wounds they suffered were self-inflicted. One of the test subjects had torn his vocal cords. Another test subject had so much skin missing from his torso, his rib cage was visible. However, the most shocking part occurred when the soldiers entered the test chamber to extract the test subjects. The test subjects, despite their injuries, fought back and seemed to possess immense strength. So immense, they even killed a few of the soldiers. During the struggle, one of the test subjects was held down and given morphine. And this did nothing. They then gave him 10 times the normal amount, and his heart even stopped, yet he still fought like a savage animal. But eventually, he fell silent and died. Now you may be wondering where the other 3 test subjects are. Well, eventually, they were strapped to gurneys and taken to a medical facility. I will not travel there, but my assistant Dimitri will. And he will tell me what happened when he comes back. I pray to God that the test subjects don't come back with him. So, my assistant Dimitri came back. And unfortunately, so did the test subjects. Well, 2 of them came back, 1 of them didn't, and I will soon explain why. So, for this recording, I will be reading Dimitri's testimonial of what happened at the medical facility, since he was sent to observe the test subjects. So, when the test subjects were brought to the medical facility, 2 of them started screaming to be put back on the gas. The 3rd one did not, because that was the test subject who had destroyed his vocal cords, so he couldn't scream for the gas. What happened then was the test subject with the most injuries was taken to an operating room to have an organ transplant, but the doctors were shocked when the anesthetics were ineffective at putting him to sleep. Eventually, though, the test subject was put to sleep by the anesthetics, but as he closed his eyes, his heart stopped and he fell silent, but he didn't die. The doctors then moved on to the next test subject. This was the one with the destroyed vocal cords, but they couldn't get him to take the anesthetics because he kept fighting despite being strapped to the table. A nurse then suggested doing the surgery without anesthetic, which the test subject seemingly agreed to, and that's what occurred. During the procedure, the surgeon said that it was impossible for the person to still be alive, while the nurse was disturbed when the test subject looked at her and started smiling. He didn't do anything, he just smiled. The other two test subjects went through the same surgery without anesthetics and started laughing in a maniacal manner, but the surgeries were completed, after which the test subjects once again started screaming for the gas. Hello again. By this point, the experiment is over. It was a complete failure, and the test subjects are now all dead. I am currently waiting to be assigned to another experiment, but Dmitri has been sent to a gulag. For this last tape, I will tell you what happened that led to this conclusion. After the test subjects returned, they remained restrained to beds and were placed back into the test chamber, and we debated on what to do with them. We suggested euthanizing them, but our commanding officer suggested something else. He suggested putting them back on the gas. We were baffled by this and objected to his suggestion, but eventually we gave in and followed through with his order. Why did we do that? Well, because you do not disobey the orders of a Soviet official. If you do, that either means execution or deportation to a gulag. So, we had them strapped to EEG monitors to monitor their brainwaves, sealed them in the chamber, and put them back on the gas, which surprisingly resulted in them calming down and stopped struggling. While monitoring their brainwaves, one of them stopped, out of nowhere, but then returned to normal, and this happened numerous times. Eventually, the subject, or whatever the hell it was at this point, laid its head down and flatlined for the last time. With two subjects left, the commander ordered them, along with 3 researchers, to be sealed in the chamber. Suddenly, Dmitri, who did not want that, drew a gun and executed the commander on the spot. I honestly don't blame him. He did not want to be locked into that chamber. I wouldn't want to either. Back to the story. This caused the others to flee the room, but not me. I stayed because I wanted to see what he would do. Dmitri entered the chamber and immediately executed one of the test subjects, and then he turned his gun on the last one. Now, let me tell you, I managed to get a recording of what happened next. I feel it's important that you hear it.
I won't be locked in here with these things. Not with you. What are you? I must know. Have you forgotten so easily? We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread. So nearly free.
This concludes my story. This will be my final recording. Dr. Arkhipov of the Soviet Union, signing out. And that was the Russian sleep experiment. I really like this story, and I hope you did too. Join me next time when I tell my next story in the Cryptic Monster universe, The Rake. Until then, peace out.